Something huge is brewing with the New York Yankees as the team has met with both Max Fried and Corbin Burnes while also staying focused on the Juan Soto hunt. And this shows that Hal Steinbrenner might be a little bit more ready to spend money than a lot of us initially thought, myself included. And we're going to break this all down. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Yankees Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a ton. 16% of viewers are subscribed. Let's get that up. But also, let's try to get to 3,000 subs. We're not that far off, but we're here to talk about baseball, so that's what we're going to do. Which is the fact that Jon Heyman has revealed that the Yankees met over Zoom with both Corbin Burnes and Max Fried, and I absolutely love this. Now, there's a lot of thought going into this that the Yankees are not real players for the two aces left on the market, as Blake Snell signed with the Dodgers because Blake Snell's a coward and is afraid of competition, just like Shohei Ohtani. Now, I probably shouldn't say that about professional athletes, considering I'm on a YouTube channel with almost 3,000 subscribers, so whatever. We're going to move past it. Here's the deal, guys. Max Fried and Corbin Burnes are both available, and the New York Yankees have shown interest in both guys, meeting with both of them, and there's been a lot of reports surrounding this, and this is a very good sign for the team. Corbin Burnes has been an awesome player, played phenomenally last year on the Baltimore Orioles, who traded a lot to get Burnes, so the thought that he'd be leaving the Orioles would be pretty surprising, and there's a lot of teams out there, and Kirk Day did make a video on this, so for the full Corbin Burnes breakdown, make sure to check out his video also. But Burnes is a guy who last season put up a 2.92 ERA, one of the best pitchers in the American League. Could have won Cy Young on any given year, but, you know, Tarek Skubal exists, and that man is just unbelievable. And look, he's an elite pitcher, and pairing him with Gerrit Cole would be awesome. He's a former Cy Young, a four-time All-Star, has a phenomenal ERA, both career average and last season. And the same goes for Max Fried, someone who the Yankees seem like they'd be more likely to sign. It would make sense if Burnes makes a little more money than Max Fried. And though Fried is not from the East Coast, he's from Santa Monica, California, he's very, very interested in going to the Yankees. Has a 3.25 ERA last season, which is up above his career average, which is just barely over 3 to begin with. Fried is a phenomenal pitcher. He's a left-hand arm, would instantly become at the top of the Yankees pitching rotation right next to Gerrit Cole, and it would just lead to an elite unit. Now, all of this was broken down in further detail. As Michael K mentioned, as you may have seen on Ugo's video, New York had a 90-minute Zoom call with left-handed pitcher Max Fried, which went very well, and he's somebody who's on the Fried side, or someone who's on Fried's side, said that he really, really liked the team and that they're already planning another meeting on top of this, which is exactly what you want to see in this scenario out of Max Fried. I mean, the guy, he clearly has interest in going to the Yankees. It feels like he very well might leave the Atlanta Braves, and a lot of teams are interested in his services, but it seems like he enjoyed the Yankees pitch, and that's just another time now that we've seen Hal Steinbrenner go out there and give a good pitch. I mean, it was known that Juan Soto really liked his meeting with Hal Steinbrenner, and now they're doing this again. They're talking to one of the top pitchers on the market, one of the two guys in that top tier of pitchers that's still available out of the initial three. And with Max Fried coming in and wanting to land with the New York Yankees potentially, shout out to Hal Steinbrenner. I mean, that man has really flipped the script, and there's a real belief that the Yankees could sign both of these guys. They could go out there, sign Max Fried, and then also still sign Juan Soto. When initially it felt like if they sign an elite pitcher, it'd probably be sort of some backup plan if the Yankees were to lose Soto. Now, Soto's not locked up with the Yankees, but the New York Post does mention that Soto is the prize of this year's free agent class, and he's expected to choose a team before the meetings conclude. An industry source indicated that the decision might be finalized this weekend, so within the next 3 days, and with Soto almost certainly to receive at least $600 million over somewhere between 12 and 15 years, it's unlikely that the Yankees would look to add a big-ticket pitcher if they were to retain the all-star outfielder, but Fried could potentially be part of a plan B if Soto were to sign with the Mets, Red Sox, Blue Jays, or Dodgers, the other serious contenders for his services. So though it looks like what we're going to see is more of this plan B, if the Yankees lose Juan Soto, then they can go out there and sign a bunch of guys to make up for it. But then we see this. The Yankees, Blue Jays, Red Sox, Giants, and Orioles are among the main players for Corbin Burnes, and New York could potentially do both Soto and Burnes, but then look to save money elsewhere if they did that. So what we're seeing is more of an interest for Hal Steinbrenner to go out there and pay a top-tier pitcher and also pay Juan Soto. Now, this did mention Corbin Burnes specifically, but I don't think this is just limited to Corbin Burnes. I think it goes between Fried. Also, one of these two guys, the Yankees are willing to pay, if not, or well, I was going to say if not both, but that's not correct. With Soto, I really mean to say. But look, you see this, and it makes you think, okay, Hal Steinbrenner is willing to spend money, and we have seen something consistent with Hal. The man pays superstars. He had no qualms about paying Garrett Cole. He had no qualms about paying Aaron Judge when it felt like Judge was going to go to the Giants. He clearly is willing to pay Juan Soto to keep Soto in New York. The New York Yankees booed this man, the Yankees fans, and ever since then, Hal Steinbrenner has gone out there and been a completely different guy. Now, yes, he still has said the payroll is not sustainable, and Hal Steinbrenner has in the past been unwilling to pay certain lesser guys, but he's not afraid of paying MLB superstars, and superstars are less afraid of going to the Yankees and being called frontrunners because everyone and their mother is on the Los Angeles Dodgers at this point, where the Yankees, the team that made the World Series against the Dodgers, seem like the only team with a chance at beating them outside of probably some 89 win like Cincinnati Reds next year. Not that I think the Reds are going to get 89 wins. Just, my brain's not working great right now, guys. I'm not going to lie. I think you guys can clearly tell that. But Hal Steinbrenner is showing a willingness to pay stars, and that's a very good sign for the New York Yankees. Because, yes, this did talk about, yeah, they're more willing to pay Burnes and Soto. They would pay Fried and Soto also. It's not specifically limited to Corbin Burnes. If I had to take a random gamble, I would say there's a bit more of a market for Corbin Burnes than Max Fried. It's just with the way that Corbin Burnes pitched last year and is in this big free agency moment where it just feels like we've seen this guy be a Cy Young. He's got the accolades to back it up, and you know he's trying to get that rest of his career contract, given Max Fried is also, but it just feels like this is a year where Corbin Burnes, at least in my mind, and maybe this is just me specifically thinking that Corbin Burnes was the best pitcher out of Burnes, Fried, and Snell. I actually think it's in that order, or maybe I'm just salty with Blake Snell. But I do think Burnes is the prize here. I think he's the best pitcher available, and what we'll see is teams look at him more than anyone else. And that's why what we're seeing is Jon Heyman highlight the Yankees as a team that would be willing to pay Burnes and Soto instead of Fried and Soto. But I will say, if the Yankees are willing to pay Corbin Burnes along with Juan Soto, they're willing to pay Max Fried along with Juan Soto. And if they do both of those, that is such a massive win on the offseason. It's another step in the right direction. And given then they're going to go cheap on some middle infielder, I mean, you'll obviously still have Jazz and you have Volpe, and they'll probably go with some cheap first base option somewhere. There's a lot of noise still about Cody Bellinger, and maybe if the Yankees could figure out a way to move Marcus Stroman and eat some of that money to where you're not to where even though you're taking in Bellinger's money, you're also giving out a bit of money for it, and then also they probably would have to give some sort of prospect or something. But there's ways to figure this out. It's just, I would still rather the Yankees sign Juan Soto than sign an elite pitcher like Fried or Burnes. It feels like it would be Fried. And then, yeah, they might be a little cheaper with some middle infielders, but that's the price you have to pay for getting superstars. And it's not like they're going to be out on anyone who's good. They're not the Athletics, who for some reason paid Luis Severino. So I'm not really that worried at all, but I do want to know what you guys are thinking. So let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Yankees.